a.m. slot. She'll help us preview tonight's Kings-Warriors matchup. And as I said, as we went to break, it's one thing I love about him. Rain or shine, win or lose, does not matter. Of course, we want to have Coach Tim Plough on after all the wins, and we want them all to be wins, but that's just not how sports goes. And last weekend, as heard right here on Sactown Sports, tough home loss for the Aggies as the Idaho State Bengals come in and with a little bit of drama and a long field goal with 52 seconds left, they beat UC Davis 38-36. So we will recap it right now with Coach Plough. Coach, it's David Jason. Good morning.
Boys, how we doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, we're
How
good.
about yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, good, man. Just trying to get through this rain today, but we need the rain and we need to practice, especially playing in a dome this week. That rain could get us, so we got to make sure we're ready to go.
Coach, tough loss. You would the only blemish, if you will, on the schedule all year had been to Washington, which almost we know how that is, but I don't think anyone or most anyone that lived outside of Idaho saw Idaho State coming in and getting a win. I'll ask you just on the surface, what happened? How'd that happen?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is Idaho State played really well. You got to give them a lot of credit and their coaches and everything. And really, it just comes down to, when I got here, we talked about what it takes to win, and you got to play winning football, and we just didn't do it. It starts with me. Anytime we lose a football game, I always tell the team and media and whoever wants to listen that, don't look anywhere past me. Like, if we lose a game, it's my fault. I got to do a better job. And there's a lot of things I did poorly in the game that I got to fix, and things I got to fix during the week that help our team play better. But shoot, man, we get 2 kicks blocked. We turned the ball over 3 times, and we gave up 200 yards rushing on defense. That's a recipe for losing a football game, and we did all that and lost by 2, which just shows how much we fight and how much we care. But you can't do those things and win football games. Doesn't matter who you're playing. And hopefully we learn that lesson and can fix it and see if we can play a little better this week.
Coach, I know you've been telling us for the last couple of weeks you've had a lot of injuries. You haven't used it as an excuse, but some of those things that didn't go well this last Saturday, how much of it was as a factor of having some of your main guys being out?
Yeah, well, our defense has been trying to figure out different ways to stop the ball, and when you lose the twins, we're down to our 5th and 6th corners. Our one corner was playing with a broken hand all game with a cast on, and then at the end of the game, he had to use his casted hand to make a tackle and broke his forearm. So it's just, it's part of football. But, yeah, we're defensively moving around a lot of guys, and they're playing 4 wide receivers. We don't have enough DBs to guard 4 receivers, so you're playing some different defenses, makes it tough. And then, offensively, we lost Carter Vargas early in the game, who's a big part of our offense. And then in the third quarter, we lost Stacey Dobbins and Zach Jones, who are starting receivers. And so you're just kind of, you're piecing together different ways, guys trying to step up. But yeah, it's part of football. Every team's beat up. But shoot, man, we this week, for example, you can travel 70 guys. I think we can only travel 58. It's the only guys we got healthy. So it's just one of those years.
Coach Tim Plough joining us. I want to go back to your answer, Coach. And look, I'm going to do a ramp up here. I admire any coach that says it's on my shoulders, the buck stops here. I think I have a world of respect for that. And I also enjoy how free our conversations are each and every week. We have a lot of fun, but you also teach us a lot about football and about coaching. So you answer this however, how specifically you want, but you didn't throw the picks. You didn't. What did you do wrong? Like, well, give me an example if you would. What was something that you go, that was my screw up. I did that wrong.
Well, I guess I would start with the process part, because as I talk to the team all the time, I think you win games Sunday to Friday. I also think you win games, 6 months before you play them. And so that's where I feel like, okay, if we lost a game like that, we lost a game to a team we should have beat at home, and we always talk about we don't want to lose our home games, then there's something within the process that I got to go back and look at and say, okay, what did we do? What could I have done differently in regards to how I led the team, instructed the team, laid out the keys to winning the game? And somewhere along the line, I feel like that process got out of whack. And we talked as a staff on Sunday about, just our messaging, our environment, and the things that we can do better to make sure that we don't have those things. So for me, I went back and looked at a lot of those things. And then in the game specifically, at the end of the first half, we were down by 1 point, and we had the ball on the 18-yard line. We had a timeout, and there was about 7 or 8 seconds left. And, we thought, hey, let's throw one at the end zone. It'll be incomplete or a touchdown, and then we'll kick a field goal. And, we took a sack, fumbled the ball, and ended up getting no points there at the end of the first half. And, man, that is just a really poor decision by me to even try to throw a ball in the end zone there. And B, hey, we got a young quarterback. Let's not put this guy in that position. And, hey, have we really practiced that situation and gone over it? So that's my fault. Late in the game, we had the ball inside the 5-yard line. We had a 4th and goal, and we called a play, and we added a shift and motion to it because we had run the play early in the game for a touchdown. I was afraid that we ran it a second time, that they were going to see the play, so I was trying to hide it with a different shift and motion, but we hadn't really practiced it. Like I said, our receivers were all out at that point getting IVs, so we got some young receivers in, so we had a illegal motion penalty. We threw a touchdown pass, but it got called back, so now we got to settle for another field goal. So things like that pop up in the game where, in my mind, I know the kids are going to make mistakes every week, and I feel like I'm sure our staff is going to make mistakes every week because that happens. But I really feel like when I took this job that I wanted to help Davis win those games, like the games this Saturday, because we had lost some games like that the past 5 to 10 years. And I thought to myself, man, if I don't make any mistakes and I do my thing, then I'll be able to help us and make sure we win those games. And that's what we've done. The first 23 games I've been here, we've won a lot of close games, sometimes to teams that people think we're better than. And I attributed that to, me doing a good job of making sure I'm making good decisions. So, that one hurt a lot. But, like I always say, man, I'm gonna be joyful and thankful for every lesson I learned. I've only been a head coach for 23 games. We've been fortunate to win 18 of them. But every lesson I learned, whether it's through a good feeling or a bad feeling, man, I'm super joyful and thankful to learn that lesson because I know I'm going to learn it and I won't make those mistakes again, and I'll bank that in there. And so I'm thankful for all the lessons, even if they're hard and painful. And that one was as painful as I've had in a long time.
Coach Tim Plough with us, Coach. And the other thing you've done a good job of is not really letting a loss spill into 2 or 3. You just kind of get on to the next week and get a victory. So this week, another challenge on the road. Now it's at Idaho. You played Idaho State last week, but you go to play the Vandals, who have been up and down but have a pretty talented team. What do you think about the Vandals for Saturday?
Man, they are. You said it. They are really talented. They were, ranked in the top 10 early in the year with us, for rightfully so. You watch them on tape, and they got 2 great defensive players, a defensive end, number 89, and a nickel linebacker, number 4. They're both, elite FCS players. And they got a great quarterback who's a really good athlete who's missed a couple of games, but he came back last week. And they got a great running back, number 20, who as good as anybody in the conference. So they're very talented, and I think they're getting healthy. They just beat NAU in NAU. NAU's been a ranked team all year, so we're playing them at a time where they're playing their best football, and we got to find a way to go on the road there, play in the Kibbe Dome, and figure out a way to get it done. So it's going to be a very, very difficult challenge. But I think for us, especially, it's about us playing our best football and fixing the things that we want to fix, and playing together as a team, and whatever guys are healthy and ready to go, coming together and figuring out a way to get it done. So hopefully we can do it.
Coach, lastly, two things. Number one, I've been doing this a really long time, way too long that I want to admit because it'll give away my age. That's one of the best answers I've ever heard a coach ever give to a question like that. So thank you for honoring us with your honesty and your vulnerability. And I think there's a lot of would-be coaches and athletes and just people in general that can learn the lesson you taught us about, joy in mistakes and learning from those things. That's just a phenomenal message. And I really wanted to acknowledge that. Secondly, I normally will let you know something about your next opponent, but based on what happened last weekend, and also the fact that I'm just going to be honest, I know it's kind of famous. I don't like the Kibbe Dome. I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the attitude. I don't like the atmosphere. I look at it and I'm looking at a picture of the Kibbe Dome right now, and I've watched games in there before. It just kind of pisses me off. I just am not a fan of the Kibbe Dome. And I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way I do, that are very anti-Kibbe Dome. So rinse off everything from last week, as I know you will. Get up there and just embarrass. Just embarrass them. Just make them never ever want to ever play us again. That's what I say, Coach.
Well, I'll tell you this. First off, thank you for the kind words, and I appreciate the weekly therapy sessions I get to have with you guys every Wednesday morning. It does help. Man, we talk about detaching from results and just finding joy every day, and sometimes it's easier to do that when you lose. You can detach from a result, but man, I'm glad our team's going through this. It's been a tough year, and you can really reveal who we are as a team, And I always say to the guys that, man, don't pray for the storms to end, right? Like, be thankful for the storms because it's going to reveal who we are. And this week, hopefully, it does. As for the Kibbe Dome, I haven't been there. But man, I'm looking forward to taking care of that for you and anybody else that has Kibbe Dome issues. I'll see if we can get that done for the Aggie faithful. So I appreciate you guys.
Yep, screw the Vandals. That's Coach Tim Plough.
Nice, Coach.
Each and every week, giving us life lessons and also breaking down some football as well. He's an excellent leader of young men, and we're proud to have him in the community. Coach, go get him. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
Boys, let's find some joy in that Kibbe Dome this week, all right? We'll see you.
You got it. Take care. That is Coach Tim Plough. Seriously, we got to break. Jason, that what an answer. Seriously,
Absolutely.
I was just like, maybe he did this. The whole thing.